It's the Slam Dunk.
So here it is again, the pressure on our medical workforce. It's right here, it's relevant, it's real, and we've done this before. And a desperate plea has come out in recent days. It's the Aotearoa, or the New Zealand medical workforce. Like much of the world is facing a shortage of medical healthcare staff. We've known this, we've seen it, we've reported on it. Any attempt to increase our domestically produced medical workforce requires us to retain the doctors. So our universities produce these doctors. We need to retain them. Recent reports indicate that New Zealand is struggling to maintain its young doctors and funnel them into domestic jobs and specialist training programs around the country. We're right on the limit here. New Zealand medical students and the association does a yearly survey, and the modest recent results are alarming. The most recent results are alarming. We saw increasing numbers of students indicating that they had no interest in staying in New Zealand beyond 5 years. 47% of respondents indicated that they intended to leave New Zealand after 1 to 5 years of working. So they do all their training and then go. Only 31% indicated they had no intention of leaving the country. 1 in 3. Wow. Students reported desire to stay in New Zealand, but many appear disappointed and frustrated in the differences in pay and workload that they see in competing systems and countries. We've talked about this too. Others cite the stress of medical school as a contributing factor as well. One recently graduated doctor reported to the survey that as a trainee intern, they were struggling to survive, and that this feeling followed them into the workplace, where their existing burnout was compounded by this feeling and the lack of a manageable workload. That's not what we want. We want healthy and happy doctors going in there. They state that they and their peers are in survival mode and constantly joke about giving up. Man, with the investment gone. This is not a healthy attitude to have towards your career, especially when you have so much on the line. These results should cause deep, deep concern for the future of our health workforce in New Zealand, but it is not just financial strain that is causing young doctors to leave the country, leave the industry, but also the training conditions and the lack of support that our medical students face. We've talked about this. They're on their knees. Comprehensive effort should be taken to retain domestically trained doctors and to foster a sustainable medical workforce in New Zealand. Without them, we're stuffed. We don't have hospitals. The president of the Student Association, Indira Fernando, added that the medical students are often presented as the future of our health workforce and the solution to our broken system. That's what they say. However, as a country, as a government, we're doing very little to support them through the process. Nor are we encouraging them to stay here once they graduate. Surely you bond them here, all that investment. It just doesn't make sense. They have to feed families, they've got huge loans to pay off, and they want to live their lives to the fullest. We are excited to serve our communities, they say, but they cannot do so at the cost of themselves. I have highlighted this before, and I continue to because of this latest survey. I've mentioned it before, but it continues. The woeful state continues. We can't stand by and train all these people and simply treat them so badly and expect them to stay. This needs some immediate intervention now, I reckon. Not in 5 years, not in 7 years or 3 years, but now. To Shane Reti and to the Prime Minister, Christopher Luxon, I know that the industries that are collapsing over here is News Hub, and you don't have to deal with that because you've chosen not to. But this one is about our healthcare and our hospitals. You've got to do something. You've got to stand up for them, and you've got to listen to them, get around the table and find out their concerns. And I think it's immediately now.